You've grown your revenue by 5 times in just 2 years, becoming a multi-million-pound business.
You fail, don't you, more than you have more successes.
And your clothes are worn by celebrities, including Amanda Holden,
Vogue Williams.
Holly Willoughby.
I would always email her pretty much every week, like, can I please send you some dresses? I pretty much ignored me for about 3 months. One day in the middle of the night, she come back to me. From that day that she wore it, we have just excelled. My account was just going din, 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 din. It was insane. This actually did catapult us into a whole new hemisphere.
From working in insurance to selling millions of pounds worth of your dresses.
And handed in my notice.
The stresses of running a really young business, having a child as well.
It is still very difficult. I've never had a maternity leave.
Wow.
I literally had a C-section and then went back to work after 4 days. These women need their orders.
How did you cope?
It isn't going to be easy. It is going to be really difficult. But eventually you'll just find a new normal. I want to be a huge brand.
Welcome to episode 14 of CharleChats, the e-commerce podcast. My name's Nick. I'm the founder of Charle, a Shopify agency based here in London. And I'm so excited to welcome you to our home for some very open, honest and real conversations with some absolute A players in e-commerce right now. So without further ado, let's do this. So you've grown your revenue by 5 times in just 2 years, becoming a multi-million-pound business. And your clothes are worn by celebrities, including Amanda Holden, Holly Willoughby. What is the story of Anne Louise Boutique?
Thank you. There's a lot actually in that story. Depends where you want me to start.
Let's take it right back from the beginning. Where did it all begin?
Right. So we started actually, I worked in a corporate company in insurance for high net worth individuals, mainly in the Formula One sector, which was really exciting at that time. And I kind of just love fashion, always loved fashion, just didn't really know where to go about it. So we did a sort of a small design of like a few different pieces, and we did a wholesale just to see what the fabrications are on all these different forms. And we brought some, literally £300. So we spent £300. We bought just 3 dresses, and they were wholesaled at the time. And we were like, these are actually quite good. So we built a website. I built it on Shopify. I did that all myself. I had a couple of PIMs, and I literally built this amazing website in 5 hours. It was good in the garden. I was like, that's really good for me. And
the PIMs helped too.
The PIMs, I was like, that is great. I should like promote those. I love them. They really set me up with this website because it was a nice sunny day and it was all good. And sorry,
love it. Whatever fuels you, right?
It was quite good. And we got this Instagram going. And I thought, I'll just do it on the side as a hobby on the side of my corporate job. And I really liked a few, as you do, you like your people that you follow, you have influencers that you like, celebrities and so on. And at the time, I still do love her, is Vogue Williams. Mm-hmm. She was one of my favourites. I loved her style, just everything she did. I was like, I want to be like that. Mm-hmm. So I would always email her pretty much every week on Instagram, message her, DM her. Like, can I please send you some dresses? I've just started a brand. Please, can I send you some dresses? Every week. She pretty much ignored me for about 3 months. And then one day in the middle of the night, she come back to me.
Just saw it, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very lucky. And she took a dress. And then literally from that day that she wore it, we have just excelled. I left my corporate business, my corporate job, I left it. Yes, handed in my notice. There was actually a really funny moment actually where we got another celebrity in our dress, and you know the Daily Mail, especially women at lunchtime, you go on the Daily Mail and you have a look while you eat your lunch. Uh-huh. And I would literally be looking at this girl who was the receptionist at the time, and she was scrolling through the Daily Mail and looking at this event that had my dress in it, and I was like, oh my god, what? She clicks on it and she sees that that's my brand. Mm-hmm. And she'd give it all away. So I was like, and I'm just going to leave now. This is the best time to leave my corporate job.
Yeah.
So I did that, and it's just flourished, really. It's just excelled every single year. We have had amazing people wear our pieces, from even our customer base is incredible as well. Our customers love our pieces. We've just excelled, really.
What a story,
trying to
from
think.
working
Yeah.
in insurance
Yes.
to selling millions of pounds worth of
I know, it's
your dresses.
insane.
And
Never thought it would happen that way.
so, Anne, give us a little bit of introduction to you,
Yeah.
so what your role is at the business.
Yeah.
And it might be named after you, but,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that.
So I kind of do everything.
Yeah.
I always want to, whenever we have anyone that's hired, I want them to see that I can do it and help with absolutely everything. So I do oversee absolutely everything.
Yeah.
But my main role is design process. So from drawing to then getting the samples in, that's my key part. I love that so much. But I do a bit of everything. A lot of it is, I do a lot of it actually, but I do have good staff and we all make it happen and make it work. But I still manage the socials. I still manage the TikTok, which I love doing. I don't know how to give that up actually. It's a hard one. We did try and give it up for a bit, but I was like, oh no, I enjoy it too much.
And if you enjoy it and you've got that passion and you're learning, I always find sometimes being in the kind of marketing side of a business, you're very close to the customer base, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you can actually learn from them and help inform the bigger decisions you're going to be making.
I love talking to customers and their feedback is key and customer service is key to our brand and having a good brand experience. Don't get me wrong, when we've been busy or as we've grown and learned, we've definitely dipped in our customer service, but you can get it back up.
Yeah, you can't get it right all the time, right?
You can't get it right all the time,
No.
which is annoying, but you wish you could, but you do fail, don't you, more than you have more successes.
And how old is the business, Anne?
It's 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's literally had growth on growth each year.
Yeah.
We did launch so last year, every year's been quite exciting. We've had something different happen. In our second year, we had Amanda Holden and Holly from This Morning wear our Windsor dress. And we sent it to the stylist literally a week before to both of them. Never thought this happened. Around 10 a.m, I had a tag and I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Literally your Shopify account was just going din, 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 din. It was insane.
And that was tagged from Holly, was it?
That was our first tag. So
Amazing.
Holly, and then literally 15 minutes later, we had Amanda Holden.
No way.
And we were on the radio. We was in every single publication that two celebrities of daytime TV have worn the same dress on the same day, literally without knowing that would happen. And the dress from the Windsor dress at the time, which it was called, had like a 6-month waiting list. So we were always pre-ordered it. I
bet you thought we literally can't buy stock quick enough.
No, and I also had my first little girl. She was probably, how old was she then? She was about 6 months. So she was like on the floor. So mind you, I've not really had staff here now. I've got like one, but we didn't know this actually did catapult us into a whole new hemisphere. And at the time, I had my little girl on the floor near me. She was fine. She was okay. But we were just literally printing off labels and packing as fast as we could. My partner was involved. We were all just packing we were sweating.
Yeah.
And then we realised, actually, we do need more staff. Yeah. And then your customer service then kicks in. And then you're building on the business that you didn't think would do this well. Not because you contradict yourself. You just didn't know you never know when you do a startup where it can take you. And it was just catapulting everything we did. It was just making our brand bigger, and it just was insane.
That's wild. So,
it was insane.
There was one moment where you were questioning whether to keep working at your job or not, and the next minute you're seeing hundreds of orders coming in, and you're having to pick and pack whilst also order more stock, running the business alongside that, having a family as well.
Terribly ordering the stock as well, because I'd be like, okay, that'll be enough. Then I'm like, okay, more people want this dress still. On the sideline of you doing all these other dresses. So it was a bit manic. And
for any of our listeners that haven't come across the brand before, what is your product range? What does it include?
So it's mainly women's dresses. We have branched into sort of timeless pieces as well. I would say they're all timeless. It's a brand that you literally, just because of feedback, it's a brand that you get all the compliments. So you wear it to a wedding and literally every customer said, thank you for making me feel beautiful. I received so many compliments. And I think that's what we want to be. We want to make sure we always put that in our dresses, whether they're very unique or there's a different pattern. But they're also timeless because we really do pride ourselves on quality, and you want to wear, like, this is my range and I've worn this literally hundreds of times. So you want to wear it again and again and again. We have another dress called the Fifi, which is like 100% cotton. And I actually think every time I wash it, it looks better, which is bizarre. So quality, timeless, and just making sure we make showstoppers where you get all the compliments.
Yeah,
I think is the best way for our brand to be
described.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. And how have you found that journey? So obviously you were working in a very different world before you moved into fashion. You mentioned that you've always had a passion for, for fashion, but how did you find that learning curve in terms of like knowing how to even make a dress or what sort of fabrics you might want to have in your future ranges? And is that from just your own personal passion of loving fashion and buying clothes? Or
yeah, absolutely. I also think just learning as you go. I still learn as I go today. I have no idea about fabrics sometimes. Then I have to you have to feel them.
Yeah.
But everything I've done, I've just pretty much learned it on the spot.
Yeah.
Is all I can say, really.
Yeah.
But I went from a very male-dominated kind of world, and now I'm in a very women-dominated world. So I've got two completely different worlds, because insurance was so different to what I'm doing, but I do love this more.
Yeah.
And you find that where I am so passionate about our designs, you can probably see that resonate through our pieces that we create, the packaging to the labels. Every time a customer tags us, or every time anyone tags us, you literally do get excited and you think, oh my God, how can I make this better? Or how can we get this out there even more? So you get excited every time someone wears your brand, still to this day, really.
And we touched a little bit on around how celebrities and influencers been a big part of your growth. Was it kind of chance, or were you always like, I actually think this is going to be a really good channel for us to get people wearing our product?
So with influencers and celebrities, they obviously have this huge following. And at the time, Instagram was a little bit different 4 years ago, which is strange to think how much it just grows within 4 years as well. But Daily Mail was such a big... women would look at the Daily Mail. I think they still do. You look at the Daily Mail and you'll see like some style, some dresses. You see Kate Middleton wear a brand new dress. You want that dress. So for me, I've just always loved that celebrity world. I used to love like the heels growing up. You know, all these like Christine Cavallari. For me, Christine Cavallari would be like a dream to get her in a dress. Don't know if we can like promote that and push that out somewhere.
Let's do it if you're watching.
Like get that in the world. But
I just want to take a short moment to tell you about our amazing sponsor of this episode, Bright Pearl by Sage. Bright Pearl is a digital operations platform that helps retail and wholesale businesses streamline ops and improve efficiencies. Bright Pearl centralizes orders, financials, and inventory all in one place. Inventory Planner proactively recommends purchases based on advanced forecasts to help you control your costs. Bright Pearl is a powerful tool that helps brands scale. Click the link in the description to find out more.
Literally, they are the core of what we do. So influencers and celebrities, they have, and customers, they have this huge following. And we have great influencers that we work with, like What and More. She's the most incredible. She's grown with us. We've grown with a lot of our influencers, actually. When you followed them at like 2,000 followers, they now have 1 million followers. And it's been an incredible journey to watch them. Yeah. So What and More is incredible. She pretty much wears anything, I think, and she can sell that out. Nice. She has an amazing style. She styles it up amazingly as well.
And do you have any kind of advice for those who are maybe haven't used influencers yet? Maybe they've been spending all on Facebook ads or whatever, or Instagram ads, when they're just trying to figure out which influencer to choose, which type of people they should be working with?
I think it sounds easier than what it is, but I suppose it is easy. All I say to them is, we'd just love to send you some dresses. And it is by chance that if they wear it and if they receive it and they like it and they wear it, then happy days. But gifting is all about gifting, and that can be quite hefty if you're doing a lot of gifting.
Because it's stock you can't sell, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you can you could be sending out. I remember we had a big thing when we first started with Love Islanders at the time, and they would pick like 10 pieces. And it's such a big risk to send out 10 pieces when you've probably only got like 30 of that dress at that time.
So you're losing a third of your stock at that moment.
And you're sitting there waiting for them to post it. You still kind of do that now, but it's more or less lenient that may happen. But it's more so just, if there's anyone that you like, I would just ask them. And Instagram is the best place to do that. Or if they have a stylist, then the best place is to ask their stylist. And they love supporting businesses and brands, especially new ones.
And then in terms of, do you pay for influencers? Do you pay for posts? Never paid
for influencers. I think, I'm going to say that back. We did pay for one influencer and it went absolutely ghastly wrong.
Oh no.
It was really bad.
Really?
I've made a lot of mistakes by starting this business. And that we went for an agency and it just didn't go well.
What happened?
She did it. It was through COVID, so at the time you kind of like no one's really wearing anything actually. So you're kind of like thinking of what to do at this time. No one really knew what to do.
No one's going out, and
no one's going out. They just started getting back to normal, where you're kind of going outside again. So I was like, I love this girl. Like, I want to buy everything that she has, and I thought, well, why don't we just pay her? Like, well, we've never done it before. Let's just give it a go and see how it goes. The photo wasn't, like everything she did wasn't great. It was like she did it very quick, and we sort of didn't agree to it, but the agency went ahead anyway and posted it.
Fine.
And it just didn't work out well.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, that's it costs a lot of money to do that.
And you have all the agency fees, I imagine.
It was huge, and it was such a big cost for us, especially at that time, because we still are small, and we were small and smaller, and I just went gifting is the way forward for us.
Because I guess people are then going to post if they actually really like it.
That's right? What you want. You want the people I follow, if they post something, they're pretty much, I'm probably going to buy it because I know they love it so much. They're going to probably wear it a lot.
Yeah.
And we now work with influencers that do resonate that sort of, what's the word?
They sort of have the same ethos as your brand, maybe.
Exactly, ethos as our brand. And they wear it again and again. There'll be people that we've worked with, and they still post the same dress they had 3 years ago as a gift. So it is hit and miss. But again, as you grow, you'll just find out what works for you and what influences work with your whatever you're bringing out, I suppose, at that time.
And would your strategy with influencers as such, and then say like more mainstream celebs, like people like Amanda Holden and so on, is that now you kind of got the experience that you've had, would you be as targeted with that, or is it just kind of if it happens type thing? I'm
always like if it happens.
Yeah.
We deal with some American stylists and they do request a lot. And I try to never get my hopes up. We've had some really good ones recently. But I'm like, no, just don't get too excited. Because they do a lot of events. They have like New York Fashion Week. It's huge. And these celebrities you'll watch, so you're watching them on big movie screens and you're like, oh, that'd be so amazing if she just wore my dress, even if she just got papped anywhere. So I'm just always sent it out and fingers crossed. But you'll find, I think with any brand, I'm just so passionate about our dresses. So every dress sort of will have a brand story of how it was made and how it got changed and why is that print. My little girl actually picks a lot of the prints.
Really?
Which is bizarre to think that she does that, but she's got quite a good eye.
Yeah.
And because of her, we've also got another little baby. We've bought out our first baby and mummy and baby dress. And it's done so well. It's so lovely to see their mums and their children in their matching dresses. Again, 100% cotton, so it's really lovely. It's really soft on the skin. And you can just wear it every holiday. Literally, Esme just wears that dress all the time when she's on holiday. And we're actually extending our baby line next year to about 5-6 dresses. So it's really trial and error, everything I do.
And you mentioned that, you see dresses get worn time and time again. And you were saying that, when you wash your own dresses, you think they look nicer the next time.
Yeah, I'm like, how does that happen?
Yeah, is that quite a big are you really passionate about making clothes that last rather than that kind of never-ending fast fashion? You throw it away as quick as you buy it.
I think fast fashion, it's amazing what it does, but it also has made, I feel like customers are now like, they want everything done immediately. And we've really got to try and we've got to get up there. Because when we have logistics issues and so on, it can be so manic that we're not providing the best customer service. But yeah, I do think with what we do, we want people to always restyle them and rewear and reuse. I think is our motto. And it has to be good quality for you to do that. And when I first wholesaled, because I did start the brand as a wholesale, so I bought 3 dresses online, realized instantly the quality was absolutely shocking. But in that format, I sort of found a design. I found a manufacturer, because manufacturing is hard to find, and we actually found her quite a small family business in China. We literally found her really quickly off the cuff, and incredible. Everything she did was incredible and mindful. I was saying demure mindful then. Demure mindful.
You're on the trends.
Yeah. So every time I think of mindful now, I just think of
this
that.
is why you run the socials.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to be on the trends. So yeah, it just I always forget what I say.
The manufacturing.
Quality, the manufacturing side of things. I'm really a huge part of that. From picking the fabrics, we have a lot of FaceTimes. Unfortunately, I haven't been to visit them just yet, but I'm trying to do that next year.
Nice.
Just because of children. Can't really take them on. I couldn't imagine a 12-hour flight of them.
That would be a lot.
I don't know if I survive. So yeah, it was. It's a huge part of to have good quality. And I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I'm trying to wrap that up. But
no, not at all. And I can't imagine having to, seek manufacturers abroad in this country. It must be so challenging, because I'm sure in your head you know exactly what you want. But to find people that can also share that vision, because they need to understand clearly. And if there's a bit of a language barrier, maybe that could be challenging, I imagine. But also finding reliable people that can actually deliver.
Yeah,
right?
we are quite manic. So especially if we have a celebrity that wants especially if it's a celebrity or big celebrity, and they request a dress to specific measurements or something or so on, I really want to provide that, because we want it to be papped. It's exciting. It gets our brand out there. So we were literally like, can we just quickly make this in 3 days? Because we'd be making it probably anyway, be in production. I've shot it. I've got all the images. I've sent it to the stylist, but then they want it in 3 days. So we're quickly get that. They will quickly get all their pattern makers on it quickly to get that piece over to us so we can get it sent to them. But finding that is hard. But I do think when I first started, it was quite unknown where the manufacturers are. I do think you can now look at TikTok. I think TikTok is a great place. If you're starting a brand, you could literally scroll through TikTok like Google and just search for manufacturing. I
literally actually saw a guy on Instagram the other day, and he was like, I've got all the contacts from the top manufacturers.
I think I've seen something like that.
Yeah. And it's wild, isn't it? That we all think about TikTok as like showing products, but you forget there's actually like entire areas and categories to help of like advice, guidance, people that have been there, done that before.
It's mental. Yeah. I think you can also find if you go on to most big brands like revolve.com, or I even think like New Look, or it depends what you're looking for, you can probably see all their manufacturers outlined in some of their financial I forgot what they call it,
reporting,
financial reporting.
Yeah.
So you can probably see all that. But the best thing I would do when you're finding manufacturers is I would pick 5, sample them all, and then see what you'll find one in that category, and just find what's best for you and what you think is the best quality for what you want to bring out.
And so you mentioned like you feel like you want to move quickly with new things, or if you need to reorder. What is the end to end of, say, getting a new dress, for example? So you've had a sudden rush with a celebrity wearing one of your dresses. How quickly are you waiting in terms of getting restocked?
So we're quite good because, again, we have a small family-run business, so we're pretty much at the top of production all the time.
Nice.
Because we have such good relationship with them. We've been using them for 4 years, so
probably grown together as well.
Exactly that. So it can't be depending on depending on what the detail is on the dress. It can take between 6 to 8 weeks, but the design process in that time frame to find the fabrications can take about 6 months. So it can be quicker, but once you've got the fabric, you've got to buy the fabric. If the fabric needs to be customized with a print, that can take about 2 weeks sometimes just to get it dyed. So it really depends on what you're bringing out.
So really your next like 6 months are really determined by how well...
I mean, I'm trying. Yeah, I have no
yeah.
idea. I'm still planning Christmas, which is bad to say that, but I love summer so much. I'm such a summer-led brand that I find autumn and winter quite difficult. So I'm like, it's black, isn't it? It's going to be black.
See, so, I just love getting my jumpers on in autumn.
Yeah, jumpers are great. But I don't think we would have loved to have done knitwear. But I just think I have to stick to like what I know. And it's show stopping like dresses or tailored pieces, because this is quite a nice tailored piece. So anything like that, I try and stick to what I know. If I kind of go outside the box, it sometimes doesn't work. I've done tracksuits in COVID, and to be fair, they did very well, but they had hearts all over them. So there was only so much you can do with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
And how many people like that look.
And I guess, does it complement like the other range if you've got
probably
like...
didn't know. Didn't at
all.
All.
But then you had to think fast on your feet and see how can we make sure we're still bringing revenue in.
It was in OK Magazine, and it was really cozy. And if you look back at it and you'll see it, it was actually quite cute.
Yeah.
But now I think if you brought it out now, you think I'm mad.
Yeah.
I don't know if people buy it now.
At least people are going out now, at least.
Exactly. They're going out, they're out again.
So, Anne, 4 years into the business, you said yourself that you've made mistakes over those 4 years. And how have you found the journey of going into entrepreneurship? Has it been easier or as hard as you thought it would be?
It's quite brutal.
Yeah.
I think running your own business, although it sounds really fantastic on paper, actually when you get and you knuckle down and do it, it is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Yeah.
When I was working in corporate, I could go to bed at night and everything was fine.
Yeah.
But now I'm pretty much up all the time.
You can leave it. You can leave your work at work, can't you?
Especially on weekends. You're like, I'm done. I'm going to go out. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I can't go out. I can't do anything. I need to go home and do more work. It's definitely not. I've realised it's not for the weak. I think owning your own business, and you've got to be going to it mentally. I think you can never be mentally prepared to do anything like that. But I do think it's a lot. You're taking on a lot without really realising how much you're going to take on.
You don't know what you're walking into.
You don't know. And we've actually made more mistakes than we've had successes. So even if it's a little win, we're like, oh my God, exciting, wow.
Yeah.
But we've made so many mistakes. I don't know, so many. Literally from...
Has there been any moments where you thought, I can't do this anymore, I'm going to quit?
Oh yeah, all the time. Pretty much this summer killed me. It really killed me off.
Really?
With 2 children. I probably cry a lot more than I actually laugh. So
it's tough,
sounds
right?
really depressing.
No, but it's the reality of entrepreneurship
we
sometimes.
We want keeping stuff in stock. We've had logistic issues just where if something's delayed, especially when it's wedding season, people need their dresses on that Saturday maybe. And if we had a delay by 2 days, that ruins we ruin everything for everyone, including ourselves, because it's just a nightmare. So, but no, I do... you're going to make mistakes. I think you do learn from them pretty quickly, and you'll probably maybe make it a little bit again. But sometimes you just can't. Unfortunately, if I could literally get on that plane and drive it, I would. Yeah. But I can't. So if I could drive that parcel to Manchester for you in 2 hours, I would. Sometimes I just can't, and we do try. So. We have now like a same day delivery driver for us. He's called Cliff. He's really good. He's got his motorbike.
Nice.
And if we really had like urgent, he would get it and he'd drive it to London for us.
Amazing.
And it's a huge cost to us to do that, but we want to make sure the customer gets their dress.
But ultimately, that's a customer that then becomes an advocate.
Hopefully, yeah.
Because even if it was last minute, you'll be like, don't worry, we're going to send Cliff to you straight away.
We're getting Cliff out there. But he probably would like that he had a mention. No, but
Go on, Cliff.
Yeah, so he's really lovely. So we try everything we can. If we have delays, we would do everything we can in our power to make sure that customer does get their dress on time. And if it isn't if we couldn't do it, then we would try and work on something else for them. And
ultimately, you can only control what you can control. Yeah. You can't, if there's a delay in the factory that's making the dresses or the plane gets cancelled or the shipping gets stopped or whatever, or the boat stopped coming or whatever, you know, that you can't, it's completely out of your power. And I think,
huge nightmare.
I know for me growing a business over the last sort of 6 years or so, is at the beginning, I'd always take that very personally in terms of
All the
like, you know,
time.
oh my goodness, I failed on that. But
Yeah.
actually, sometimes you have to distance yourself, don't you? In that,
You
actually
do.
go, look, I've tried everything I can. It hasn't worked out. Such is life. And now I've got to sort of
go into the next bit.
Yeah.
Which is usually, there is something always waiting for you, isn't
Yeah,
there? So
yeah.
you literally will close one door and another door literally opens and you, God knows what's coming through it.
And you guys are growing fast at the moment, right?
Fast. So keeping up with demand's been hard.
Yeah.
Again, I thought it would be, I don't know why I always think it's going to be quiet. I don't want it to be quiet, but our dress has been, again, and I really appreciate this more than anything because I want it to be, I want to be a huge brand. I don't know how I can get there, but we always keep trying. But yeah, we just sold out a lot of our stock. We've really found what pieces work for us. That takes time. We've tried a lot of things, like I mentioned, the heart knitwear. As much as they did do very well, I just don't know if I do them again. But there are things you're going to try, and there are things that won't work. It's so cheesy to say this, but you know, like when you have a celebrity and they have their album, and some songs on it do really, really well, and some don't. That's kind of like a collection drops. Some are like a hero piece, and some maybe not do as well as that hero piece. But when you get a hero piece, like we have the Cassini dress, for example, we have now in 8 colorways, which is incredible. We now have it dropping next year with 3 limited. We're doing a really lovely collaboration next year, which obviously I can't give away, but we're dropping it with that company with 3 with some limited colors. So when you've got your pieces, again, it takes time to find out what people like. Then you just run with them, I think, and that's what I try and do all the time.
And how, when you've kind of got like pieces that haven't done as well, will you do like bigger pushes to try and get more people seeing them, or do you kind of accept actually that just wasn't the winner and we're going to move on?
It's hard. Well, it's hard. So you don't. We still make small runs. Hence why there's probably been logistic issues. I try and always not overdo it because we never want to be. We have like a no waste policy. I never want to be a wasteful business. Even if it comes to like extra fabric, we'll make sure we put that. Again, we hold on to it, put it back onto another dress if we repurchase it, or we'll make it into something else. So waste for us is huge, but making small runs. So yeah, when we haven't had stuff work, it's still a beautiful dress though. Like we do have one dress and it's so stunning, but you have to have the right occasion for it, and it's got to be a big occasion. But we do sample sales, and we've got a huge sample sale coming up in London in our shop to close the pop-up down.
Nice.
And stuff like that. People, again, they maybe just need to see it. They maybe have not really seen it. So when they see it at the sample sale, they can feel it and be like, actually, this could work for me for an occasion.
And sometimes you actually love something way more when you see it in flesh, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can touch it and stuff. So that is why actually our having bricks and mortar this year, although it's been quite challenging in a way that I've never run a store before. So staff is very hard to find, I realise.
So tell us about that. What's been the story of the bricks and mortar store?
So for us, we ship internationally, and Covent Garden was such a great experience. You can go there and have an experience. You can go and eat, drink, and shop. And there's also lots of hen parties around there, so it's quite good. Like opposite us, I'm just going to go on a tangent there, sorry. There's a drag shop opposite, a drag queen brunch.
Nice.
And all these women get absolutely wasted and come in the shop. It's like, we actually, sorry, now I'm going on a tangent.
That's good, we love it.
I went drinking with my friends in that drag queen place, which is this amazing brunch. We got really drunk. We met 7 women. We dragged them all in the shop.
Come and have a look.
And they all bought dresses.
Oh.
And I gave them a little bit of a discount.
Yeah.
But that was such a good day. I should do that more. I should probably do it every weekend.
Just going to get drunk at the drag in front of the drag queen brunch, and you'll be
amazing.
loving it. Yeah.
It was so good, actually.
Double your revenue right there.
I said, get them drunk and then bring them in. No, don't do that. But no, that was, I think women just love that. I was wearing this dress actually, and they were like, "Oh, we love your dress." I was like, "Actually, that's my store there." And it was really
like,
lovely.
No way, yeah.
And I brought loads of prosecco, and they were in there for hours.
Yeah.
So that you wouldn't get that online.
No.
You don't get that experience online. So I'm so grateful that the shop has given me these little experiences that I can see women take, they go to the Frozen show because it's around the corner.
Yeah.
And they go in there and they take their daughter and they try on the Fifi. And you can have cute little moments in there as well. So having that, going back to why we wanted it, is to find out what our customer wants. Again, online's brilliant, but once you open a pop-up, you can kind of get brand awareness. So we're now very much pink and black. So we've got a pink storefront and it has black fonts, and inside it's really beautiful dresses, basically, which we try and put forward with our mannequins and so on. So we've kind of got our ethos of what we love and how we want our brand to be represented. And people just walk in. So we're really lucky. It's been really good.
And it's such a prime location, right?
Really beautiful location.
Yeah.
We are closing it down, though, on the weekends. But we are going to open a flagship store in Covent Garden.
Nice.
Which we're kind of going through. We're looking at places now. It is very big, the store.
So the one you have at the moment, is that like a pop-up for like a short-term period?
It was supposed to be just for April, May.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to close down, but it's done so well that we've kept it open.
Wow.
And again, it's brought through women that didn't know about us.
No.
I remember I went in there. I've only been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I went in there just before Wimbledon. We've had loads of Americans buy all their Wimbledon outfits in there. So it's been really exciting.
And have you kind of, even from, your teams that are working there at the moment, have they kind of been able to feed back about any of the products, or like what people are liking, or anything they've shared about when people come on your website now, it's difficult to gauge what they think unless they buy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you're guessing why they might have bought or why they might not. Whereas at least when you get to sit and watch people going around a store and touching things, you can read their facial expressions and so on.
Exactly. Well, I actually find it really insightful to go in. So I would tell Instagram that I'm in today. We can do Prosecco and styling days. And I literally am helping the women try on their dresses to find out what fits them or what they don't like. And that was the perfect, I suppose, product analysis of like what we want to bring out in the future and how things should fit, and doing garment tech days and so on and so forth, because you just want to make sure that they feel great in it. Yeah. But most of the women did. You'll get different walks of life that probably don't like mini dresses, or maybe they're a bit too long. Maybe we should look at doing petite version, for example. So it has opened my eyes to a whole new sort of world of what we should probably do going forward, which I loved.
So is that the big future plan then, in terms
100%,
of lots of in-store?
And I want to do one in America as well.
Nice.
Because we actually, before we opened the store a year ago, we actually I really wanted to be again, you've just got to put yourself out there, I think, but you'll see why. But I really wanted to do wholesale. I don't know. I'm very bad at wholesale. I don't know how to get in with that. I know how to contact a celebrity if they want to dress, or a stylist, but the wholesale world, I have no idea.
In terms of being stocked by say department stores,
it's quite cutthroat, I think. And again, I think people need to see your brand in a store. But so last year we really wanted to be in there, so I thought, why don't we just go to Dublin, because I really want to be in Brand Thomas Arnott's. Nice. And we'll just do a giveaway on the street. So we went there in March. I took some of the girls that worked for us, and we just went, we'll just go on the street and do a giveaway. We have no idea who's going to come to this. I had a little goodie bag of LB, the LB bags, I went little ones, and we had some flowers in there. We actually had a free little gift card, and at the time we did a blouse, and we put little blouses in there. And we had this, you'll see it on my Instagram, we have this huge long line, and the line kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Wow. And I'm standing there thinking, oh my God, what is happening?
You're this is my business.
This is
I left my corporate job for 4 years ago.
It's insane. Yeah. And we have such an amazing Irish following as well. And it's one of I think it's our third biggest place we ship to. Wow. And they were all giving me I love your brand, please come here. So I literally we edited that video, and I got a meeting in with Brand Thomas that evening or the next day. And I showed her the video, and she was like, perfect. I had all my samples as well. Because
it's evidence to them that you've got a following in this area.
I don't really know that. No. Sometimes you need to showcase your brand as much as you can personally.
You're like, look, I've literally been on your streets.
Yes, exactly.
People are in a queue.
They were queuing for me. Maybe not me, but the brand. Yeah. And we showed her that, and she was like, absolutely, we're going to stock you in here.
Wow.
So we had a massive literally it began in May. Did that pop up? Yeah. So within 2 months, we had a huge pop up in Arnott's, and it did incredibly well. Again, we haven't been able to keep our demand for our dresses up there, which we're working on now. But
I can feel your pain. You're like, we've got all these opportunities.
Oh God,
we just go.
I know. It's been so bad.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to have demands, but also you need to keep up demands.
Yeah.
But funny enough, we've just taken on a head of wholesale for us, and she used to work at Brown Thomas. So
wow.
And she's moved to Paris, and
nice.
She's amazing. So, and I love her. I think she's great.
And I guess like when you are then, when your brand is being sold next to some of the world's giants,
yes,
it instantly feels like your brand is going up a level, right?
I was next to like Reese.
Yeah.
I think. Next to Reese. And I was like, oh, how am I next to Reese?
Yeah.
Like that's insane to think my little brand that started in a spare bedroom, literally packing on the floor, is next to Reese. Yeah. It's insane to think. Even in Covent Garden, we have Reformation near us. That's a huge American brand, and all these other stores. And I'm like, how is that real?
Hard work and graft.
Yes. And you have to pinch yourself, I think, sometimes as well.
That leads on quite nicely in terms of shipping worldwide and being international. How's that journey been for you since growing the brand?
Again, you learn everything as you go.
Yeah.
I think finding couriers, they're very expensive actually, couriers. They are so expensive. Not to name one, but they're really expensive. But you will find it as you go. And then as you get bigger or you're shipping more to certain places, you can probably get better rates, is how I found it. Yeah. But we can ship to America within one day, which is the most fascinating thing.
It's wild.
Like literally, if someone wanted a dress and something happened, I'd be like, oh, it'll be with you tomorrow, actually, unless something went wrong. Yeah. But majority of the time, that's quite rare. Everything's at your fingertips now, isn't it? With that, so couriers do make it easier for you to ship just like that, as quick as possible.
And do you think that you'll look to have kind of like maybe warehouses in other countries eventually?
So we do. We've just started one in Dubai.
Nice.
With our stock is now in Dubai. We did start it actually last year, but we didn't have time to frolish with it. So the last 2 weeks we've put all our new stock out there. We've started the website again, and so that's our first step into having. You can get same day delivery in Dubai, which is just mad to think about as well.
We've actually got a couple of brands in London doing it now. Like they came on the podcast, Percival. I can literally I can go on their website. If I want to get a shirt or a t-shirt delivered, they do like same day, 1 hour. It's like ordering a takeaway.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's wild.
We should be on Deliveroo.
I know.
For our dresses. No, but it's amazing that you can do that.
Yeah.
And I think just as every year goes on, there's going to be other funnels that will do that for you. But no, we're looking to do a lot in America next year and Australia. Our second biggest country is America, and then it's Australia, and then Ireland actually. So there's a lot. We want to make it so accessible, and quicker to get the dress. If you, especially like women, you can leave it to last minute sometimes, and you're like, oh, but I want that dress. Yeah, and it's annoying if I have it on pre-order. Yeah, so having stock on the ground would be better.
Ready to go.
Yeah, just get it, and
And I guess people are way more likely to convert as well, aren't they? If they can say, in stock, be delivered tomorrow, or in 3 to 5 days. Whatever.
Exactly. We do have not live by pre-orders. I would say actually we have a really good pre-order scheme. You find out your demands. We've always done pre-orders. It doesn't always logistically go well. For example, if stuff is delayed and you've put a deadline on there. But we do try and manage that if that ever happens, which it does. Yeah. But
it's literally like made.com, isn't it? That was kind of like what before they had their troubles and then went under and then came back again. It's literally what I remember. I ordered once some tea towels. And it literally was like 6 months to get some tea towels from made.com. I was like, this is wild. I think I actually gave up and I was like, look, don't worry about them. Keep your tea towels.
I can go Tesco's, get my tea towels. But it's sofas. You can wait 4 months for sofas, can't you? And stuff like that. Which is pretty much like the Cassini dress at the moment. And we do a lot of pre-orders. We find out the demand quite quickly for that. And if we haven't bought enough, we'll probably buy a bit more.
And then I guess it means you're taking a little bit less risk as well in terms of buying loads of stock and reduce your wastage as well, I suppose.
Absolutely, yeah.
In terms of not having heaps of stock that's either not selling or It
also gives you the idea of what will do well. So for example, there'd be a celebrity that needs a dress for an event and I may not even have it yet, but I'll give it to her, see how it does. And then I'll put it on pre-order.
Yeah.
So it's finding still what styles work for us. But I still find I think pre-orders are amazing.
I think
for our business they are.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would work for other people, but for us, they're very insightful. Again, like you said, no waste, and
I bet it also creates a bit of scarcity with you know, it kind of changes the value of your brand, in terms of like, we're not just like buy it now, get it tomorrow. It's like, you know, you want this dress and it's a real special dress because you've waited for it, you've really invested into it. It creates that kind of like
it kind of creates excitement as well, I think.
Yeah.
So like, for example, the pink Cassini, we have it on pre-order, we ship it out, and then we have to put it back on pre-order. So people are like, why is it back on pre-order? I don't understand. And I'm like, oh, you've just missed the first. So we have like 7. We're on our 8th release of that dress this year.
Yeah, because you keep selling out the original.
Yeah, exactly. So it's it's insane to think that actually happens, but it does, and it's magical as well.
And so you know, you mentioned right at the beginning of this episode around how, you know, you don't want to let go of social media. It's been one that's been, you know, you're very passionate about it. You love doing it. It's been a big part of your journey in terms of getting seen by people. Yeah. And you've got over 250,000 followers in just 4 years. It's wild.
It's done really well.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I can't give that up. I don't think I could ever give up social media. I love doing that part. I also think personal branding, which I think we actually need to push more, is really strong at the moment, more so than
people hearing from you, for example. Yeah,
that's why we want to get into like doing more lives and really engaging with our customer more, like doing style edits and bringing like, if I really want to do like a customer experience day where instead of doing like influencer events, we bring all our customers to an event and they can give us really good feedback. And we really want to be more engaged as much as possible.
What's led you to gain such a big following so quickly, right? I think a lot of people would dream to get to the levels of followers that you've got in just 4 years. Yeah. You know, what's been your secret, if you like?
It's literally just, I think, getting on celebrities and influencers. Yeah. Every time they post, especially back when we first started, someone did post for us and we got 20,000 followers within like seconds. Wow. It was insane. And you can't buy that. No. You can't buy that. And
because it's so hard to grow now, isn't it? So like hard. The algorithms, it feels like it's a bit against everybody, right? It doesn't want to. Even now, I'll even have a look at Instagram. I won't even see half of the people I follow anymore because it just doesn't show you.
I never understood or followed algorithms. Yeah. I never understand that world. Yeah. I just if I like it, I post it. Yeah. Some of it does good, some of it doesn't. Yeah. And I don't know. If someone likes it, then great. That's amazing. But I've noticed posts that we've done recently is more about personal branding, like more about the journey of the Fifi with Esme. I think massed loads of views. So people like Esme actually, which is my daughter. Yeah. They quite like her.
Yeah, I was going to say actually, what do you think? So whilst you're, you know, not super bothered about the algorithm and trying to like find out what's going to work, what sort of stuff is working well for you? So you mentioned, you know, Esme's doing great. She's a great brand ambassador.
She loves dresses now. So I'm glad we've got a mutual bond there.
But you're seeing a lot of people like engage with that type of content.
They do. I think the mother-daughter thing is quite rare. There's not many brands that really dive into the mother-daughter world, and it's something I really want to do more. Just because I have daughters. Yeah. Why not? And we like dresses. Yeah. It's definitely something I want to go with more with the brands. But yeah, it's just naturally gone that way. Yeah.
And is there any type of content that you found that just hasn't worked? You put before, he's like, never post like this. People don't like it.
When it's too glamorous.
Really?
Too like, don't get me wrong, we have like really cool shots and stuff, but when it's too over, I suppose untouchable. Yeah. Is the best way to put it. Then it doesn't do as well.
I guess because it's like rustic. People want to feel like they relate to the people that are in the pictures.
You want to relate to people, don't you?
You want to be like, that's like I could do that.
Exactly. And I think I've lost touch with like all shopping on big brands now. As much as I still do, but I sometimes do like to look at the journey of a dress, or how it was created, or the journey of the brand. a lot more now actually, and that's what we would like to do as well. And that's why there's a video on. It sounds a bit sad now, but there's a video like in the shop on me and Esme dancing in our dresses, and it did really well. It's amazing, and people were like, oh, it looks like this film, and I was like, oh, it does. It's amazing that it looked like a scene from a film.
Yeah.
Something You Got Mail. There's like a really old film. And this woman was like, oh my God, it looks like that mother-daughter scene. I was like, what?
You're like, I need to get on YouTube for this.
I need to look at that. And it was really sweet. And you create these moments that you just don't realise other people have like, it's
wild.
It's nice when you see stuff like that.
Yeah.
When we were just filming that, actually, me and Esme were just filming like being silly in our dresses. We had so many people outside watching in.
Really?
And Esme was like waving to them. You'll probably see it on the thing, but I think people just like to see that.
Yeah, see real life stuff. They're like, they're like me, and they're just everyone's like each other. Yeah.
So no, it's good. And Esme does come. Well, I've got Esme and Bonnie, my two daughters, and they do. Like this summer's been quite. I haven't been able to like find a nanny or I haven't really had much help. So they do come to work with me.
Yeah.
Which has been quite savage.
I mean, I can't imagine.
No.
Growing a business and having kids at the same time.
No, it's not. Yeah, I've hit a new. You know, like in the gaming world, and you have like levels.
Yeah.
And you can't beat the boss. That's where I feel like I'm at the moment. So I'm just on this new level, and I'm like, whoa, hold on a minute, this is quite hard.
And how many little ones do you have?
2.
And how old are they?
We've got she's 3. Esme's 3, and Bonnie's 8 months now.
So you've got a 3-year-old and an 8-month baby. Literally, so you're 1 year into the business, and you've got a newborn.
Yeah.
And, you know...
Yeah, if you look back at videos, mental. She's pretty much like, we had to build a play area for her. Actually, every office, they've had a play area and we've moved office 3 times now because of demand. We had to keep going somewhere bigger. And
how have you found it? You know, the stresses of parenthood, which I don't know. I mean, I've got a dog, but that doesn't really count. But the stresses of...
Dogs count.
I keep telling myself they do. The stresses of running a really young business, because that takes a lot of brute force just to keep going. And it's, I think, emotionally really taxing. But also having a child as well is probably just as taxing, if not more.
No,
how did you...
a lot of colouring books
that
have to come out. No, she... I do get it. Esme's now, where she's like 3, going on to 4 next year, she really enjoys it. She like... When we go to the shop, she's like, oh, can I do an order? Can I take an order? Oh. And it's weird that she's so small, but she's got this she loves it. But I've never had a maternity leave.
Wow.
I literally had a C-section with Esme. Quite brutal, I won't talk about that. And then went back to work after 4 days.
4 days?
Yeah, I literally was just sitting there and I was like, oh, can you pass me this, please? Because I'm going to die.
So you've literally just had your child and then you're back at work 4 days later.
Because you can't, there's no, literally, there was such, and it was in COVID, but it was just demands coming back up. And I was like, well, we can't, these women need their orders.
How did you cope?
I should have been like, oh, guys, I've just had a C-section. It may take a few days. But
give me a minute.
You had to have your staff on furlong at that time, but people were still making orders. They still needed to get them out. So I just went in and just got on with it, I suppose, which sounds awful to say that. But
and what were your like support mechanisms? Did you have anything you were like, oh my God?
So you couldn't really have grandparents because it was COVID. Yeah. So
all the things that could help when you're busy are taken away from you.
It literally, my partner, of course, is like a huge part of it. But when you have like such a newborn baby, from my experience, this may not be everyone's experience, but they want their mum. Yeah. And obviously I'm feeding and so on. Yeah. So we're pretty much attached to each other for like the good past 6 months. And it's just difficult. But there are literally videos where she's like, I'm packing.
Yeah.
But I love my brand so much. It is literally it's my first child.
Yeah.
So I would do anything for it as well. So I just, unfortunately, nothing I could do. It was just got to press on.
Yeah.
Which is difficult. It is still very difficult.
Because you've got an 8-month-old right now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And it's still, and she's just starting to like not walk, but like she's up and she wants to be busy.
Yeah.
And she can't really draw yet. So it's a bit hard to entertain her. So I just literally put her in a walker sometimes. She's like in a big bumper car just going around the office.
Do you have any tips for people that have like young kids and they're launching an e-commerce business?
Don't do that. No, I'm
Don't
joking.
do
No,
it.
don't do it.
Change your plan.
You have to find what works for you. It isn't going to be easy. It is going to be really difficult. But eventually you'll just find a new normal, if that makes sense. You'll find a new, I suppose, your day will be different, but somehow you make it work. I don't know how it works, but you'll find a way. And it will all just fall into place, I think.
Yeah.
Like building a little crash area in theory for Bonnie to now go in and Esme to play with. That gives you a good 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Just put them in there, they can play together. And eventually, as they get older, they'll probably play together more as well. But I'm trying to still have these moments because they're so little, but also maintain the business, which is really difficult.
Yeah, because when you're growing a business, it's not like, you start a business, it's not like that's it, I've done it now, that's the business bit done. It's like the business is growing. So the challenges that you're facing, the pressures you're under are new. And, I'm sure the pressures and stresses that you find now are very difficult to the stresses that you had when you first started.
It's like that you're just on a different path now, I suppose. But I think Lily Allen once said something like, children ruined her career.
Oh, God.
And it's not, that's quite brutal. And I think she puts stuff in her own, words.
Own way,
but, I did have to take a step back.
Yeah.
Massively. But it's also refreshing for someone to say, hang on a minute, my career has been put on hold because I have had children. And although I've tried my best for that not to happen, there are days I literally can't go into the office. No.
You can't do everything, can you?
There'd be days where Esme's not playing ball. It's taking her 5 hours to get her dress. Literally, it's like that. You're like, oh my God. Unless she wants a dress. And it's like, it could be like 5 degrees outside. So you're going to have days where it doesn't work. But I've learned to be patient, just give in. When I was agitated, nothing would go to plan. So I would have to just be like, I can't do today.
No.
So thankfully I have, the girls in the office that can help if that ever happens. And when they do come in, they do savage them. They're like, Ellie, can you get this? George, can you do this for me? Can you get my bike? Can you do this? Can I go toilet? And
they're ready to be boss, that's why.
They do get boss. Esme's very bossy. She's very demanding. But she also sits at the desk and will tap your keyboard while you're doing something. So you're like, oh God.
How to stay grounded, have kids.
Probably put them off children, actually, when they come in. And they look really cute. You can see that they probably see the tantrums. They see everything in there. I literally, when I do a hire process, I'm like, do you like children? If they say yes, I'm like, perfect, you're winning, you're in.
Yeah. It's like me and dogs. You can't come to the office if you don't like dogs.
Exactly. So that's what you need.
Well, look, Anne, so, over the last 4 years, you're now a multi-million-pound business and your growth trajectory is wild, if I do say so myself. Where are you hoping for the next 4 years in terms of where ALB gets to?
Well, anything really. No, we're really pushing America next year.
Nice.
It's such a big, we've got such amazing communities and states and we want to nurture that. Yeah. And like, for example, we had, I'm going back, but we had basically someone wear this Lovett dress, which I actually had out a year before the Lovett dress. And it didn't do well. It did okay, but nothing like, I thought, it's such a beautiful dress, I'm going to hold on to this. Someone wore it on TikTok in February. She massed like 1.3 million views.
Wow.
And she has sold that out again. We've literally just got back in stock, but we have it now in 2 other colours. And that is literally launched us into America like I've never seen anything like it. So
it just takes those one moments, doesn't it?
One moment, which TikTok, you don't know when it's going to come. I don't think she hit her algorithm. I generally just think the people like the dress. Yeah. And I think with TikTok now, I do actually go on there and look up for dresses to find unique dresses or something a bit different. And I think once you get that and someone wears it, and all she did was put her camera there and didn't say anything. She just did a TikTok and it just went birth. So I don't know if she even knows that happens, but
she does now.
Oh, she does now. And she obviously got loads of views from it as well. But just that little one moment changed the whole dynamic for that dress.
Yeah, we were actually talking about in our last episode around how is TikTok going to become like the new Google search for people looking for products to buy.
Do you go on there and search?
I actually don't. But I don't. I'm sorry. I'll put my hands up. I don't. But TikTok themselves are pushing it continually. They did like a pop-up that was like, TikTok's the new search. I've seen it all over my LinkedIn as well. To be honest, I find Instagram really addictive. So I've like tried to stay away from TikTok because I'm just like, I'm going to get so addicted to it. But I can see why. I did actually go on there once, 2 months ago, to look for a restaurant in London because I was like, you get to see all the food.
You do, to be fair. It's amazing. You get all the good camera work with it as well. He probably won't be impressed with that though. I'm sure he's
probably not
on TikTok.
No, the team are going to hate it.
No, but it is, I actually search everything on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
even
so
like stuff about mums. I'm like,
because it's like real people like giving advice, isn't it?
It literally is. I would prefer to do that. I even look like vitamins on there.
Yeah.
I'm like, someone taking a nice vitamin B today. I might have checked someone's done it on TikTok and how it's going for them. Yeah. Literally, or hair, anything. I'm on there. I'm just. You
love it. You're I'm pro TikToker.
Love it. But yeah, I think it does transform businesses. Yeah. Kind of like Instagram did when it first started. Yeah. And I think we just caught Instagram just as it turned into quite a busy place. And TikTok's the way forward, I think, as well. They all are, really, aren't they?
Got to do it all.
Yeah, you've got to do it all.
Well, look, Anne, thank you so much for joining us on CharleChats, the e-commerce podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure to hear such an honest and raw journey that you've been on over the last 4 years. And I wish you all the success for the next 4.
Thank you.
And do stay in touch because I really want to see how this journey keeps going.
Come to the warehouse.
I'm coming.
I'm coming right over. Esme for a little bit.
I want to meet Esme now.
Yeah, you should do. She'll boss you around.
She'll keep me in line.
She'll like it here as well.
She's welcome anytime. Thanks, Anne.
Thank you.
I absolutely love learning about the humble beginnings e-commerce brands come from. And Anne's story is absolutely no different. Thank you so much for joining us on CharleChats, the e-commerce podcast. Please do follow us on socials and subscribe to us on YouTube. And we'll be back again real soon.